Fifth seed. This is where I actually have the Golden State Warriors. I really like their team heading into the season. Nick, you do as well? Wow, how about that? So, yeah, I like the Warriors team going forward. I mean, they were great the second half of the year with Jimmy Butler. Yes, they are old, but they just fit together. Like, unlike a lot of these other teams, that's why I have them higher than the Lakers, is because they fit very well together. The Horford signing, I think, was great because last season we finally saw evidence with Quentin Post, a rookie, with how valuable a shooting five can be when you have Steph Curry on the floor. What a crazy concept that we finally saw take place last season. And this offseason, they get Horford, who he is super old. At this time last season, I thought last year was gonna be his final season. He signed a multi-year deal with the Warriors, so he's planning on playing still a couple more seasons from the looks of it. And he, with the Celtics, he's obviously, really reliable from three-point range. He's a great defender still, even at 38, 39 years old. He can defend switches. He can defend guards. He's a very good playmaker. They can play him out of the post similar to how they use Draymond Green. So I love the fit there. And, of course, Jimmy Butler, when he got there with the Warriors, they were 22-5 the second half of the year. They beat the two-seeded Houston Rockets. And who knows, if Steph Curry doesn't get injured, they were handily beating the Timberwolves in game one of that series. So I think this is a very, solid Warriors team here that just fits together, very well on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, the roster's super balanced, isn't it? Steph's going to have a ton of space to drive into with a Horford out there now. And I think Jimmy Butler's also going to be able to, just play, make, and create shots for Steph and Al. And Draymond's going to be doing his thing, getting Steph open looks. Like, the gravity of Steph isn't going away, and they're just adding more space. So it's good little equation, good little recipe they got down there.
Yeah, I like what the Warriors have going on. Joey, who is your fifth seed?
I have the Lakers. I have them at 51-31. I think they're going to be really good offensively. With Luka and LeBron, they're going to obviously win just a crazy amount of games just by them too. A. Reeves had a phenomenal year. I think Ayton's not bad. I think their center depth is a little better than last year, but not much. But their defense is going to be atrocious. You're absolutely right. I'll be honest, even though I have them at the fifth seed, I don't take them as legit title contenders. I probably have the Wolves as probably better contenders, or even the Warriors, even though they're just, I think, in the regular season going to do worse.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Who's the better contender?
Yeah, well, teams? When it comes to the playoffs, defense heightens up, and some of those Lakers guys are going to get run off the court, aka like Luka, maybe LeBron because of how old he is. Ayton might
But they were the 3 seed last year, and no one has them above 5. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. Because we saw what happened in the Timberwolves series, and I feel again, like I said, I think that is the blueprint that teams are going to follow here. Because it's pretty simple. Again, like you just go at these negative defenders, and again, they can't really take them off the floor. Like Marcus Smart could be a good addition. Jared Vanderbilt could play more games. Jake LaRavia could be a nice find in free agency for this team. But none of those guys can play starting level minutes with the top end talent on this team. There's no question how talented this team is. They might be a top 3 talented team in the entire NBA. But I feel like what we've seen at times over the last couple seasons is it's not about who has the best talent. It's who has the best combination of talent and the fit on both ends of the floor. And right now the Lakers just don't really have that. Ben, who is your fifth seed?
I have the San Antonio Spurs at the 5th seed, and I am a big believer of Victor Wembanyama this year. Yeah, I think he's going to look like one of the best players in the league starting this year is what I'm predicting. How are guys going to score on the man at times? He's 7'4", as measured at media.
Right. Yeah, 7'4".
Like, he's huge, and he can just block shots so well. He can just be maybe just standing there, not even having to jump and still block shots and get stopped. And then offensively, he can shoot it. I think he has a decent jump shot that will look even better this year, and will just be dominant on the paint on that end too, of how big and athletic the guy is. And then I love that he has multiple pretty good guards to feed him the basketball. De'Aaron Fox is back healthy this year, and I think they're going to figure it out, him and Wemby, pretty well this year. I think Fox will do his thing, score pretty well, average around, like 24 something points per game, I guess, and he'll pass it into Wemby good, and you got Dylan Harper, number 2 pick. Wow, he's a great prospect. He's one of the better point guard prospects I've seen recently in drafts, and that's awesome that you get to put him next to Wemby. That's just adding him in there is just such a great building block for the future. But I am interested in seeing how it all works with Fox, Harper, and Stephon Castle too. One Rookie of the Year, is also good too. I'm interested in seeing how that will fit in, but I think it could fit in fine here the regular season. Will just really help Wemby out, and I think guys on the wing will step it up more. Like I think Jeremy Shohan will be a good defender, and I think Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson should be solid. Harrison Barnes could come in and knock down some big shots. I like the Spurs this year for the regular season. Like I said before, surprises. Recently I've seen teams who haven't made the play and then all just randomly one year jump in, be a playoff team, not even just a playing team. The Spurs, I'm picking them to be that team this year.
I would say that's probably expected if there's any team. I mean, we all have them in the top 8, which is very interesting. We all expect them to make the jump into at least making the postseason. But yeah, Ben, you're absolutely right. Last year we saw the Rockets in the West and the Pistons in the East jump up a lot of spots to make the playoffs last season. There is always a couple teams that make that jump. I know in the East. I mean, the main one is the Atlanta Hawks for most of us, having them jump up a whole lot of spots. In the Western Conference, very well could be the San Antonio Spurs. I'm surprised all of us do have them in the top 8. But with that, all of us have the same top 4 teams. We'll just see what the order is. So my 4th seed is where I have the Los Angeles Clippers.
Bingo bongo.
Yes, Joey. Why do you have the Clippers at 4?
Okay. They are one of the big winners of this of this offseason. I would say I really like this Clippers team by Nick. But maybe not biggest winners of this offseason, but I really like what they did. Like, I don't think Beal is going to be as bad as that Suns experiment was, bringing back Chris Paul. I think Zubac is going to be as good. It's just they're made for the playoffs. This team, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to not play back-to-back, probably take games off, rest here for like a couple games here or there. But this is a really, really good team. This is a minimum. I have them at 55 wins. But in my opinion, a minimum 50-game or 50-win season it should be, at least in the regular season, to come playoff time if they're all healthy. I think they're a legit contender in that West. This is a really good team.
And again, Bradley Beal, I mean, last season he still averaged 17, 3, and 4 on 50, 39, 80 shooting splits, which is still good. I mean, it's good. It's just that he was making $53 million for a Suns team with expectations. And those numbers for $53 million, not the best. Those numbers for $5 million is a bargain and one of the best deals in the league. So, and him playing on a team where, I mean, he's going to be a top scoring option. They're going to ask him to do what Norman Powell did for this team last season for $5 million. If he can put up that production, that's going to be huge for this team. So I think they're going to be really good. I think they'll be the 4th seed because I think they'll just get through the regular season. Of course, we have no idea what's going to happen with this Kawhi Leonard aspiration deal that might change things, but we just have to go off of what's going to happen on the floor, and based off that, Joey and I have them as we all have them as top 4 teams in the Western Conference.
I would say nothing's come down officially on Kawhi, so as of now, everything is business as normal, and as right now, this team is really good.
Yeah, for sure. Nick, who is your 4th seed?
I'd put Houston here. I think the Van Vliet injury is a big thing that's going to hurt them in the beginning of the year, throughout the whole year, because they're going to have to figure out who their point guard is now. They don't have a ton of ball handling. Fred was going to be like the guy with the ball in his hands most of the time running the show, and now he's just gone. So someone else is going to have to step up, and that's not going to be the smoothest thing, at least in my at least that's what I'm thinking. It's not going to be a smooth transition. Although, Amen Thompson might just step in and go buck wild and be an all-star and average 7 to 8 assists a night. Like, that would be something special.
Right, that's the thing here. Of course, this injury occurred between podcasts, so this is our first time talking about it. Tore his ACL, is going to miss the season. Just horrible, devastating news for one of the real catalysts for the Rockets' turnaround over the last couple seasons. I mean, there's no coincidence that when he got there and Dylan Brooks got there in the same offseason, that they started to get a lot better from being in the basement of the conference to, I believe, 11 seed to 2 seed to now being a hopeful championship contender, getting Kevin Durant in the offseason. But yeah, it's a huge question now. Joey, who do you think Ime Udoka is going to start now? Because obviously, there are a number of ways he can go here, with Van Vliet out, but he's such an important piece to this team. How do you think they're going to try and replace that?
Well, I think how you have it right here, I think Aaron Holiday will probably start, but they really could do a lot of different things. They can even have KD or Thompson bring up the ball. And honestly, Sengun, we call him the mini Jokic, and I wouldn't be shocked if every now and then he would even bring up the ball. It wouldn't shock me, at least. They're going to kind of do it by committee, at least in the starting lineup. But the big question is they need to know what they have with Reed Shepherd. Because Aaron Holiday, he is just, for right now, until you find out what you have with Reed Shepherd, he is kind of the Band-Aid just to fill it in. He can run the offense. He'll be solid. But Reed Shepherd is that future. And if he's just not it, you got to know as soon as possible. And you're going to find out, because this is a really good team around him. All you have to do is get it to your star players and run the offense. You don't even have to go crazy on the offense end yourself. Fred VanVleet doesn't, but we call him almost elite because he gets everybody involved like that. And that's all you have to do. But that is a tall task with how good your team is. You got a lot to live up to.
Absolutely. Ben, who is your 4th seed in the West?
I had the Clippers at 4 too.
Okay.
I think the Clippers have great depth. That's some of the best depth in the league. And Kawhi, James Harden are great players. I think, this team's more built for the playoffs. Like, they're to rest guys in some games. I still think they can win some games even with guys rested because they're that loaded with stuff. And I'm excited to see Chris Paul there for his final year. And Bradley Beal is there, and I think he could be pretty good, not a mess there. I love Vika Zubac, great player on both ends, and they also got Jason Preston, the once great Ohio Bobcat basketball player, led them to most wins. Even that will give them some luck on the end of that bench.
Gotta love it. Yeah, Clippers definitely should be a good team in the regular season and in the playoffs.